Hi, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the Family First Life Emerald City YouTube channel. I am Brittany Fontana, and I am super excited and super pumped because today I have with me the one and only Michael Sandman. Everyone, let's give him a huge warm of applause. Hi, Michael. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you guys so much for having me on here. When you guys told me I was going to be on Brad Allen's call, I was super stoked. So thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, we were super excited. After we did the huddle call for the FFL North team and I heard your story, I was like, I texted John Gavin. I kid you not. John Gavin could tell you. I texted him. I was like, I'm going to get Michael on my YouTube channel. And so when you said yes, you would do the interview, I was like, I booked it. So we're super, super thrilled to have you. That being said, Michael, we discussed your story, and I think your story is just, I mean, it's taken off, in FFL. Your story is inspirational. It shows you what work ethic, discipline can provide you, and I think it's so incredible for people to hear. So if you could just give us your backstory and what you were doing prior and how you found FFL.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, again, thank you guys for having me on here. I'm super stoked for this. But yeah, I mean, just to kind of start from the very beginning, I was 18 years old, and I moved to Florida with my brother. And we didn't we didn't come here with thousands of dollars in our account, nothing like that. We moved here when COVID
Oh, wow.
hit, and what is that everybody was losing their jobs, so it was hard enough finding a job, right? So once we got down here, we were doing like odd jobs. We were doing
Yeah.
just whatever we could to get money, and so we done that for a couple of months, and I figured out real quick that making $300 a week
Was not
that's
going to
not
cut
going to
it.
get you very. Actually, it wasn't. It was just it was very hard. I mean, it was tough, and it wasn't like I had parents that my parents weren't given
Yeah.
handouts. Like we figured out what we were gonna do, and honestly, I'm thankful for that, because it made me, be more
Yeah.
disciplined and work harder for things and appreciate what I had, But when I moved down to Florida, my friend called me and he said, "Hey, dude, I'm selling life insurance." He said I made like $500 on Monday, and I was like, $500 in a
Right?
day. I was like, dude, what? I was like, "You're not like scamming people or like doing something immoral." And he's like, "No, I'm actually I just started selling life insurance, helped some families and made a lot of money." I was like, "All right, man. Well, I want to, dude. I mean, how do I get started,
Mhm.
right?" So, I it was with a different company. It wasn't with
Okay.
Family First Life. He what happened was is I reached out to the same company. He lived in Arkansas. I was here in Florida. I reached out to the guy. He sent me the course, and I would never forget. I went into like a parking lot because I was living out of my car at the time, and I studied for about 10 minutes. I don't know if I said this on the North call, but if I stayed in my car and if I stayed in idle for more than 10 minutes, my car
Would it
would
overheat?
it would stop. Yeah, exactly. Stop blowing cold AC. And the Florida summer,
Oof.
that's not, you can't. It's
Yeah.
awful, So I just stopped and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna study. I'm done. I'm not gonna do that. So 3 months later, I found myself in the same position. I was, had no money. I was broke. I was trying to make, barely making ends
Yeah.
meet. And the second time around, I actually did a lot of my own research into the life insurance industry. So I like looked up a bunch of different companies, reached out to a bunch of different people to kind of, see what would make the most sense for my situation. And I came across Family First Life, and yeah, it's completely changed my life. I remember meeting Eric Anthony for the first time. He's like, "Meet me."
Aw.
As soon as I talked to him for the very first time, he's like, "Meet me in my office in an hour and a half." And I was like, I was like, "Dude, I mean, why not, right?"
Sure.
So I met him at his office an hour. I'm so sorry. I met him at his office an hour and a half later. He's like, we got a week to take the test, and I was like, okay. And a week later, I end up passing the test, and yeah, ever since then, it's been a crazy journey. All the ups and downs of the business. Days when you don't feel like
Yes.
going out in the field, when you get showed, when you get a bunch of no sells. My thing was is there was never a plan B for myself. I just knew that this was, I mean, if I could just do this, I mean, it's a lot better than delivering DoorDash,
Right?
you know, making.
Yes, and I think that's a really, common thing is, we all like to say there should be no plan B. You're all in and here you go. Cause I think that's a huge reason for, a lot of the agents' success here is not having a plan B because you have nothing else to fall back on, right? There's no excuse to be like, oh, I'm not going to go out there today, or oh, I'm not going to invest in leads, or oh, I'm going to only invest a little bit in leads. When you have no plan B, your back's kind of against a wall, right? I mean, what are you going to do? You're either going to fail or you're going to start winning. And in my opinion, I'd rather start winning. So,
No, of course. Yeah, I mean, that's so good. I mean, because I think so many agents, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can, you know, refer to I mean, so many agents come into the business, new agents, and they just give up on themselves way too quick. And it's like, man, like if they saw what I looked like when I started and how bad I was for the first couple months, and then what I became, you know, not because I was good, just because I was willing to go to work, there would be so many more people, you know, really giving this, you know, all giving it their all, because truly I know I can do this. Anybody truly can, you know. So that's just, I just see so many agents, like they come in,
100%.
they'll dial for 2 hours, and then you'll never see them again. It's like, man, imagine if you would have gave it 2 months, or you'd have gave it, you know,
I, kn-
5, 6, 7 months. You looking back and see where you could have got to.
I know. And, definitely being with Brad Allen and helping him build his agency. I mean, I see that every week, every day. It's even a numbers game when it comes to, recruiting and building a team. Is you're going to lose people. There's some people that it just doesn't stick with. But at that point, kind of for agents too, you can't give up. You can't be defeated by the losses here, because there's just too many options to win. Again, I'd rather be on the winning side than losing side. So why would I focus so tough on the losing part of it when I could be a winner just like that by just changing one thing in my schedule? If that's waking up an hour early, if that's investing more in leads, if that's, being out of my comfort zone can allow us to win. Why not? Why not you? And so I think that's just incredible that you're literally a perfect example of that. I mean, you started from ground zero, from nothing, from being in your car to hitting Hall
Um,
of Fame. And how many
yeah,
families did you help last year with hitting Hall of
669
Fame?
families.
So just like let that sink in, everyone. He helped 669 families last year, which is just incredible to hear. I mean, that's so many people that are now better off because of you. So that being said, what is your goals
Yeah,
for
I
this
mean,
year? If
last
you
year I
did
was really
669
focused on
last year, what are you
personal
thinking this
production,
year?
which was very odd. You know, I this year I'm really trying to, you know, recruit and share
Gotcha.
this opportunity with as many people as possible. Obviously, you know,
Okay.
I mean, the personal production side is, I mean, guys on like Northwest, them guys are, I mean, they're just complete anomalies. I mean, but for myself, I would say to help 500, 600 families, but my main goal, you know, share this opportunity with as many people as
Okay.
possible, because last year, I don't, it literally, like, I know that, you know, if I just tell people what I done, they'll feel empowered to go do the same thing and see the same results, you know. And just, my main goal this year is to get a lot better at sharing this with everybody that I come in contact with, you know, even really, you know, hiring and introducing this opportunity to a lot of my warm market. I mean, everybody that I could, because I don't know why for the longest it just seemed so
Yeah.
uncomfortable to share this with random people, but I know how it changed my life, and I know
It
how it could change theirs as well.
it really is uncomfortable. For me, I'd never done this before prior. I did HR things, but it was never like on this level. So it was very awkward to like post on my social media. I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna annoy people with my million posts. So I was so nervous to be uncomfortable. But I had listened to, and again, plugging in is super important because now it's changed our lives in building. I listened to Nina talk about being out of your comfort zone on social media. She didn't care how many times she was posting and if that upset someone or if someone told her, no, I'm not interested. She was like, okay, I'm on to the next. And that was so inspiring to hear 'Cause I was like, "Okay, if she's stepping out of her comfort zone, now Michael's stepping out of his comfort zone. Everyone's stepping out of their comfort zone and winning." It's just an incredible thing to start doing once you do it, because 'cause you're
Yeah,
gonna
no,
start winning and it's gonna
absolutely. It
take off
definitely will. I mean, this
100%.
this starting to sell life insurance was the most uncomfortable decision of my life. I was only 18, so it wasn't like I had, 20 of work experience, but my
Yeah,
thing was it was like getting into something like this where there wasn't many people my age doing it. That was what was super uncomfortable. And then going to only commission, it was like, man, a lot of people, yeah, it definitely was. And having to, think
nerve-wracking.
about if I don't help a family, I don't make any money, like that kind of stuff. Them fears right there, in the very beginning nearly overcame me because I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this or not. But the thing is the first day, the first house you ever go into, the first lead you ever dial, the first phone call you ever make, it's the worst you're ever going to be. You only have room to improve in this business, which is really cool because, like, for me, like, I didn't have no experience. I don't even have a lot of life experience, right? Much less to selling life insurance to
Yeah.
people, triple my age, you know. The thing was, is once I overcame that and all the fears of like, man, I'm too young to go into these homes. Like, I remember when I started, I was like, man, if I walk into a home, Bob's gonna say, get this, fluffy head kid out of my house, and I was like, yeah, exactly. Even to this
Yeah,
day, I get
he's a
clients like, oh
baby.
wow, I didn't know my grandson was coming over. I'm like, yeah, I'm just here to help. And one thing that I was just, being super direct, being super
Aw.
assumptive, appropriately challenging them and asking the right questions. They literally, and the thing is a lot elderly people, they love to be around younger people. So honestly, it went from me thinking that it was a disadvantage to me, mentally thinking it was like this is actually kind of an advantage because they like being around younger people. And then you appropriately
Yeah.
challenge them, if they try to, shoot, throw an objection at you, just doing things like that, helped me tremendously, and also reaching out to my mentors, reaching out to people very well, uh, yeah, this opportunity
Yeah.
was truly the best opportunity. I mean, I didn't go to college. I didn't have to go to college for 4 years to do this. Like, I just, it took me a week to pass my test, and I'm not
Yeah,
even that
right?
smart, So, um, and after that, it was like, wow, if I can just share this
Oh.
with as many people as possible, I can change more lives than just my own.
And that's an incredible way to look at it, Michael, and I think for you and all the interviews I've watched you do and hear you speaking, your mindset is just so incredible because like you mentioned, you can look at something as a disadvantage, but you started changing your mindset and made it of you made it an advantage. So that's huge that you have such strong mindset. And my favorite thing you've talked about so far has been becoming obsessed with the appointment, becoming obsessed with just this job and what it entails. Tell us a little bit more about that and your
Yeah,
mindset when it comes
absolutely.
to
I
becoming
think to
obsessed with
become
things
good at
FFL.
something, you got to become obsessed with it, right? I mean, if you're not obsessed with it, you're probably not going to be, you're not going to, perfect your
Yeah.
craft like you want to. And that was the thing for myself was because I was so young and I wasn't that good in the home, I wasn't that good on the phone. I just become obsessed with things like, buying at least $2,000 every single week in leads, or at least, booking 30 appointments a week. Once you become obsessed with things like that, the numbers just
Mhm.
fall into place. Why? Because I mean, you're getting in front of enough people. So, for example, let's say I book like last year, I helped 669 families. 669, throughout 52 weeks is
Yeah.
only about 12 families a week, which is not even that's not even that impressive, honestly. The only thing was I booked 30 appointments. I sat with 20 of them, and I
Yeah.
helped 10 for about $100 a month, and that comes out to about 12 families a week. And a lot of people, they're like, dude, what? How did you do this? I'm like, and then when I break it down like that, they're like, wow, that's really simple. And I'm like, yeah, that's all I did. I'm not, good or anything. It's just because I not only become obsessed with FFL in general, I become obsessed with, my dial time, making sure that Mondays and Thursdays I was dialing. I wasn't
Yeah.
I wasn't sleeping until 12 o'clock, right? I was getting up and I was gonna go dial the phone. And once I became like just completely, just super disciplined to that schedule, And it changed everything for me because even people that ask me now, that dude, you're so young, what did you do? I'm like, dude, honestly, if there was some like secret thing that I could tell you, I
Right?
literally would. But there's no secret thing that I can tell you. I just was willing to dial 12 hours a day on Mondays and Thursdays, you know. And a lot of, obviously, with time you get better. It don't take that long, but I was willing to put that type of time, you know. And that was the thing. That was, I feel
Yeah.
like, the only advantage that I ever had on people is I was willing to put in more time and more work. Therefore, I saw different results rather than, you know, trying to rely on talent, which is what I don't have. You know, I just knew I had a work ethic that would get me to where I wanted to go.
Yeah. And again, if anyone can really take away anything from this conversation between Michael and I, is that is just put in the work and the results will come. It's really just putting in the work, believing in yourself, having that discipline, becoming obsessed with things that have to do with your job. You know, it's going to change your life. And I mean, you're again a perfect example of how this has changed your life. And you know, we're excited to see what you're going to do. We can't wait to see the agency that you're going to build and grow. I think you're going to do a phenomenal things here at Family First Life without a doubt. And again, thank you for spending the time with us today. I know you're a busy person. Again, every team's wanting to do an interview with you, so I know you're busy. So thank you again for taking the time to speak with us. And you know,
Yeah,
honestly,
thank
I
you so
can't wait to see
much.
the things you do
I'm
here. I
always
really
super
am
excited
excited
to
for
get on
you.
these calls. So I thank you guys so much for having me.
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.